London was founded by the Romans as Londinium around 43 AD, following the Claudian invasion. Its location was strategic, providing a narrow point to bridge the River Thames while remaining deep enough for ships. Within decades, it became a bustling commercial hub. Though the settlement was small compared to today, it quickly established itself as the capital of Roman Britain, replacing Colchester and laying the groundwork for 2 millennia of history. Disaster struck early when the Iceni queen, Boudica, led a fierce uprising against Roman rule. Londinium, undefended at the time, was burned to the ground. Archaeologists still find a red layer of burnt debris from this event. However, the Romans reclaimed the site and rebuilt it with a grid pattern, a forum and a defensive wall. This wall, known as the London Wall, would define the city's physical boundaries for the next 1,000 years. After the Romans left in 410 AD, the city within the walls fell into decay. Instead, the Anglo-Saxons established a new trading settlement called Lundenwic, located slightly to the west in what is now Covent Garden. Life shifted from stone villas to wooden huts. It remained a vital port, but its wealth attracted unwanted attention. Repeated Viking raids eventually forced the population back inside the safety of the old Roman walls for protection. In 886 AD, King Alfred the Great recaptured the city from the Danes. He repaired the Roman walls and established a burh, fortified town system. This move was a turning point as it integrated London into the nascent Kingdom of England. Trade flourished once more, and the city began to reclaim its status as a political and economic powerhouse. The focus shifted back to the City of London, where the financial district stands today, known as the Square Mile. When William the Conqueror won the Battle of Hastings, he knew he had to secure London to control England. Rather than destroying it, he granted the city a charter to respect its rights. To assert his power, he began building the Tower of London, a massive stone fortress that served as a palace, prison and armory. This period marked the beginning of London's role as the permanent seat of royal authority, though the king often resided in nearby Westminster. While the city was for trade, Westminster became the centre of government. Edward the Confessor built a great abbey and a palace there. This created a unique twin city dynamic, a commercial heart in the east and a political heart in the west. Over centuries, the space between them, the Strand, filled with the mansions of the elite. This separation of powers between the merchants and the monarchy is a defining feature of London's historical development. Medieval London was a crowded, chaotic place of narrow streets and timber-framed houses. Trade was organized by powerful livery companies or guilds, which controlled everything from bread quality to goldsmithing. These organizations held immense political sway, electing the Lord Mayor. St. Paul's Cathedral, the old version, dominated the skyline. Despite the prestige, the city was filthy, leading to frequent outbreaks of disease among its roughly 40,000 residents. The mid-14th century brought the Great Plague. London lost nearly half of its population to the Black Death. The social upheaval was immense. With fewer laborers available, survivors demanded higher wages and more rights, leading to the Peasants' Revolt of 1381. Rebels marched on London and entered the city, reflecting a growing tension between the common people and the ruling class. Though the revolt was suppressed, the feudal system was changed forever. Under the Tudors, London became a global powerhouse. Henry VIII's dissolution of the monasteries saw massive tracts of church land seized and repurposed for housing and industry. This broke the church's grip on city land. By the reign of Elizabeth I, the population surged to 200,000. It was a golden age for culture. Theatres like the Globe opened on the South Bank, where William Shakespeare premiered his plays to audiences ranging from pickpockets to nobles. The 1600s were a time of intense conflict. Tension between King Charles I and Parliament led to the English Civil War. London was a stronghold for the parliamentarians, Roundheads, and the king was eventually executed in Whitehall in 1649. After a brief period as a republic under Oliver Cromwell, the monarchy was restored in 1660. However, the city was about to face two of its greatest challenges in back-to-back years, a deadly plague and a massive fire. The last major outbreak of the bubonic plague in England killed an estimated 100,000 Londoners. nearly a quarter of its population. The wealthy fled to the countryside, while the poor were locked in their homes marked with red crosses. It was a terrifying time described vividly in the diaries of Samuel Pepys. The epidemic only began to subside with the onset of winter, and, ironically, the massive fire that would cleanse the city's infested streets the following year. In September 1666, a small fire started in a bakery on Pudding Lane. Fanned by strong winds, it raged for 4 days, destroying 13,200 houses and 87 churches. While the loss of property was catastrophic, the death toll was remarkably low. The fire provided a blank slate for the city. Sir Christopher Wren was tasked with rebuilding, leading to the creation of the current St. Paul's Cathedral and a city built of brick and stone instead of flammable wood. As the British Empire expanded, London became the world's financial capital. The Bank of England was founded in 1694, and Lloyd's of London became the centre for global insurance. Coffee houses in the city served as the first trading floors, where merchants discussed news and stock. This period saw the growth of the West End as a fashionable district for the aristocracy, while the East End became the industrial engine room, housing the city's growing working class. London became the largest city in the world during the reign of Queen Victoria. The population exploded to 6 million. This era saw the construction of the iconic Houses of Parliament and Big Ben. However, the rapid growth led to the Great Stink of 1858, when the Thames became so polluted with sewage that Parliament had to stop meeting. This triggered the construction of Joseph Bazalgette's massive sewage system, which still functions under the city today. To combat the world's first modern traffic jams, London built the Metropolitan Railway, the world's first underground passenger line. It opened in 1863 using steam trains. This revolutionized urban life, allowing people to live further from their workplaces and giving birth to the suburbs. Over time, the network expanded into the tube we know today, creating a blueprint for public transportation that cities around the globe would eventually seek to emulate. The First World War brought the first aerial attacks to London. German Zeppelins and Gotha bombers dropped explosives on the city, causing panic and hundreds of deaths. Though the physical damage was relatively minor compared to what was to come, it changed the city's psychology. Londoners had to adapt to blackouts and rationing. The end of the war saw a push for homes fit for heroes, leading to the clearance of many Victorian slums and new social housing projects. Today, London is a megacity that successfully blends its ancient history with cutting-edge modernity. Landmarks like the Shard stand near Roman ruins. Hosting the 2012 Olympics revitalized the East End, and projects like Crossrail, the Elizabeth Line, continue to expand its reach. Despite challenges like Brexit or the pandemic, London remains a premier global destination for tourism, finance, and the arts, continuing a story that began nearly 2,000 years ago.